Hello and welcome to Homemaking with Joy. I'm Rachel. Today's video is all about postpartum freezer meals and preparation. I've been working very hard on these the past couple of weeks. I'm 39 weeks pregnant, and so I'm going to show you everything that I made and stored in my freezers. Here are my freezers. And also how I got it done, because I didn't do one big freezer cooking day. I have two other toddlers at home, so I'll explain how I got that done, and you'll get to see how I did all this with this. So I'm going to go through one by one all of these meals that I prepared. I made 19 dinners. I have a couple snacks in here too, and I have more plans to make other things, but while I'm feeling good and while I have time and the baby's not here yet, I thought I would get this filmed. So I'll work my way over and show you what I have. First is a taco casserole. This worked out well because it makes a 9 by 13, so I made it for dinner and doubled it. So we ate a 9 by 13 one night. Well, we ate half a 9 by 13, so I knew I could split it into two 8 by 8s, and this would give us two future dinners. I will also do my best to link all the recipes below. This one is from Sarah at Our Tribe of Many. She has 11 kids, I think, so most of her recipes are quick and easy and delicious and filling, and this definitely hits the spot. So 2 taco casseroles I just thaw and then put in the oven. And all of my meals have labels on them, so whether I am putting it in the oven or my husband is or whoever can be here to help me, everything is done. I made 2 meatloaves. So I think I probably did meatloaf for dinner and then made these as well. And they're just a simple meatloaf. You'll see that I don't have a side dish prepared for this, but if I have this main part of the meal ready, it's really easy to just throw some potatoes in the Instant Pot or the oven, or, you know, in a pinch, just throw rice in the rice cooker or boil pasta, whatever. As long as I had the main part of the meal figured out, it's pretty easy for me to piece the rest of it together. Back here are my canning shelves, and I have lots of veggies in the canning shelves, the freezers, lots of side options. So I'm not really concerned about that, but the main, like the meat, the protein, I do have that taken care of in this spread. The next thing I have are sloppy joes. So this one evening I made a huge pot of sloppy joe, because if I'm going to get it out, I might as well make a whole bunch, and then just filled some bags with more. So whether this is a lunch or a dinner, these are sloppy joes. I'll just need to make rolls, buy rolls. Sometimes we like to do it on loaded baked potatoes. So I'll bake potatoes, put this on, cheddar cheese, sour cream, that sort of thing, veggie on the side, call it a night, easy peasy. We have taco soup. This is one of our family favorites. So this is completely cooked and ready to go. So it just says to reheat it. I'll thaw it and reheat it. You can reheat it in individual portions, or like I'll put it in my slow cooker and just let it warm up that way, and then that'll do all the work for me. It's all in one pot, easy peasy. I don't actually have a slow cooker. I use my Instant Pot for all of that stuff. So I really like that I could put the soup in there, warm it up, and then I just keep it in that pot and stick the pot in the fridge, so you don't have to get any extra dishes dirty, anything like that. Makes life really simple. Cream cheese chicken chili. This is again one of our favorites. This with cornbread and all the toppings, so good. So I don't know, I don't think this was originally a freezer recipe, but all of the ingredients work just fine to put in the freezer. So you just, thaw it and then cook it on low for 6 hours, shred the chicken, make some cornbread to go with it. Yum. I remember one time I served this, we had some friends over. So that was before kids. It was my husband and me and then our friends. And we almost finished the whole crock pot of it, like just the 4 of us. It was so good. And so that's a staple at our house. We have chickpea curry. So this is a new one. I don't remember which website I found this, but I'll try to link it. I like curry recipes. I think in the winter they're just so warming and yummy. So this will be great. I will just make some rice to go with it. This is one of the vegetarian meals I made. Obviously we eat meat, but this was really easy to put together, really fast. And so chickpea curry will be nice and warm in the winter. I am looking forward to having an October baby. I have a May baby and an August baby. And so after all this work, after all that canning, after everything, I'm planning to just sit and not cook and snuggle my baby and play with my kids as long as I can and enjoy being inside in the winter. This will help. What's next? Hawaiian chicken. So this is like chicken and pineapple and soy sauce and stuff. I think pineapple's delicious, especially with chicken. My family, meh, we'll see how they like it, but I thought it would be good and no one's gonna complain. There's gonna be food on the table, so they'll take it. That gets served with rice. Again, so easy. I have, you can see my big buckets here. I have big buckets of rice, so we always have that on hand, brown rice, white rice. We have a rice cooker. You can do it in the Instant Pot. You could do it on the stove, but I really appreciate having appliances that do most of the work for me. Most of these are slow cooker meals or just warm up meals. So that'll be super easy on my part, which is again why I don't mind preparing then a side, like a side of rice, a side of potatoes, because that's really simple. Doesn't take a lot of brain power, and I think I can handle that. We'll see. This is baby number 3, so I've kind of got the hang of cooking with kids. Next we have BBQ beef sandwiches. So this is a beef roast. I can't read it right now. A beef roast in homemade barbecue sauce. And so you put this in the slow cooker for a good long time, shred it and put it on sandwiches. I made this, so I prepped the beef pot roast, but I also made it with venison the other day so we could try it. And again, just did 2 of them at the same time to save me some time, and it was really good. So that came out of a slow cooker cookbook that I have. Which works out great. Creamy Italian chicken. There are some of these recipes that used ingredients that I don't normally use, but for the sake of postpartum and ease, I just went for it. Like this has cream of chicken in it. I don't usually buy cream of chicken. I'd rather just make a quick cream of chicken like on the stove to put in a meal or omit it or something, but postpartum, not a big deal. We're gonna eat it. It's gonna be delicious. This one will probably get served with pasta. Yum. We have sweet and tangy meatballs. Here's another one with an ingredient I don't always buy. This has grape jelly in it from the store. Not the healthiest option, but so delicious. And I've made this recipe a bunch of times and it always goes over really well with my family. So we will enjoy that probably with rice and some vegetables on the side. This one is called Asian chicken thighs. This is actually a stovetop meal that I like to make. It's like a sweet and sour sauce in the chicken. But I decided to put it, just assemble all the ingredients here, and then I can cook it on the stove, or I can put it in the slow cooker and make it that way too. So I'll figure that out when the time comes. Not a big deal. What's next? Teriyaki chicken. That's pretty self-explanatory. Slow cooker for 4 hours. Make it with some rice. Got some dinner. I don't know how my kids will handle all of these meals, like all of the sauces and stuff. They're not terribly picky. And like they like rice and potatoes and stuff on the side. So if all else fails, they can eat just a little bit of this and then the side dishes. But I wanted to make sure I made things that I liked too. So we'll see. They'll get to experience new foods, new flavors, and that is a good thing. Exposure, exposure, exposure. These are ranch pork chops. Cooking pork chops is really challenging, so they don't dry out. So this one had great reviews that they didn't dry out, that the sauce was really good. Again, this has, I think it has 2 cans of cream of chicken, but whatever. If it'll make good pork chops, then it might be worth it. Or I'll figure out a different way later, but that'll do for now. Honey sesame chicken. I've made this one before. You can make it slow cooker or Instant Pot or a bunch of different ways. I've made it fresh. I've made freezer meals before, and it's really, really yummy. So again, with rice and a veg, we're good to go. Okay, so those are the dinners. I wanted to share, I have lots of bread on hand. So I make all of our own bread. So I have sandwich loaves made. A lot of people ask me how I freeze them, so I thought I'd show you. So I make my loaf. I let it cool the whole way, and then I pre-slice it and put it in just a regular gallon Ziploc bag. And so this works out really nicely if I want just a couple slices for a sandwich, or the kids just want a slice for something. You can just open it off and pop off a slice from the frozen chunk, put it in the toaster, and you instantly have fresh, good toast. You don't have to thaw it ahead of time or anything, and you can just take out what you need as you need it. This actually works great too. So postpartum, my midwife will make me a meal upstairs in my kitchen. She said most of the time the midwives make like breakfast sandwiches for the moms, because the bread, the eggs, the cheese, all of that stuff is really nourishing and invigorating, and most people have that on hand. So my midwives can grab a bag of bread, pop out a couple slices, and make me a meal, which I will appreciate very much. Let's see, I have a slew of muffins, so especially zucchini muffins. When the zucchini was coming in quickly from the garden, my goal was to put as much of it into baked goods as possible instead of just freezing the zucchini. So I have, I don't know, 5 bags of these zucchini muffins. They will be great snacks for me, for my kids, for breakfast, whatever I need them for. And then I don't have to actually do any baking. So I tried to do all the work on the front end so I can just thaw these and then eat them. We have banana nut muffins. We used to have chocolate chip. I think my kids ate all the chocolate chip muffins. And I'd like to make some pumpkin muffins this week because I have some pumpkin puree from last year that needs use, because I put more pumpkin puree in my freezer this year. So I'll make some pumpkin muffins. I think muffins are just like the most convenient snack. They're portioned, breakfast, snack. Again, I'm going to be nursing, so 2 a.m. when I'm hangry and need something, muffins to the rescue. I make all of mine with freshly milled flour, as you've probably seen on my channel. Do I have any of these? I think I have some muffin recipes that I can link on the channel. But with the freshly milled flour, with the quality ingredients, I know that they are good for me, and they do fill you up pretty well. So that is a big perk. The last thing I have to share are zucchini meatballs. So going with the zucchini theme, I prepped some meatballs ahead of time. These are fully cooked and ready to go, so I just need to warm these up, and I can use these a million different ways. I canned a bunch of pasta sauce this summer. Back there, you can't see it from here, but a bunch of pasta sauce. So spaghetti and meatballs, meatball subs, whatever I want to do. I have fully cooked meatballs, even like for the kids' lunches, if they need a quality protein that's quick and easy to warm up. I'm talking about the kids. I'm going to need a quality protein that's quick and easy to heat up. So having these meatballs on hand will be super helpful too. Those are the things I have prepped. The rest of the things on my to-do list would be make those pumpkin muffins like I mentioned. Bagels, we really like my homemade bagels, and so having bagels on hand for quick and easy breakfasts will be awesome. I found a recipe that I'd like to try for bagel pizzas. So you get a bagel, you put pasta sauce or pizza sauce on top and cheese. You freeze it like that, and then you stick it in a freezer bag. And so it would be a really fast lunch. I could just pop those out and put them in the oven. Like bagel bites that you could buy at the store, but I make the bagels, I make the pizza sauce, I shred the cheese. It's a little more wholesome than the store-bought freezer version, but just as convenient. What else? Yeah, pretty much anything. Oh, more loaves of bread. If I could get more loaves of bread made, that'd be awesome. I have on my list to make a bunch of pie crusts, because those are really fast and easy for like dessert pies, knowing that the holidays are coming up. I have home canned cherry pie filling and apple pie filling, or whatever else you get from the store. I like to make quiches for breakfast. What else? Pot pies, like chicken pot pie or turkey pot pie. I think I used my last jar, but I like to can pot pie filling like all in the jar. So you just get out the pie crust, you dump in the pie or the filling, and then you pretty much have a meal that's homemade fast food. One of the other YouTuber ladies I like to watch also made a lot of freezer biscuits. So if I could make a big batch of biscuits and freeze them and put them in a bag, that would be great for like a sausage and gravy sort of meal, or like breakfast sandwiches even. So breakfast sandwiches on bagels, which we like to do for breakfast or dinner, or on a biscuit. That would just be a fun way to mix it up. I mean, who doesn't like biscuits? So if I have time to make those, that would be cool too. Anything else? I don't think so. I'm really happy with this spread. I need to get it all back in the freezer, and then I will come back to you and explain how I got all of this done with 2 toddlers at home, with minimal help along the way. Like I said, I didn't do one big freezer cooking day, so I'll break that down a little bit, but let me catch my breath, get everything in the freezer, make sure it fits, because my upstairs fridge freezer is also full. I really like freezers and food storage and food prep, as you can tell. So I'll get all that done and be back in a jiffy for you. Okay, so how did I make all of those freezer meals? Ideally, I would have had like a freezer cooking marathon Saturday where my kids were gone all day and I just had all of the ingredients to bust it out, but that did not happen. I would have liked for it to happen, but it didn't, so I had to get a little creative. I mean, it was summer, so we had family trips and vacations and picnics and gardening, and I did big preserving days, and so that was the priority this summer. But I knew I needed to get the freezer meals done. So you heard me say a couple of times in the first part of the video that I would have what we're having for dinner and double it and put that in the freezer. Well, that didn't always work out because what we ate for dinner didn't always go in the freezer, or we wanted it for leftovers the next day. Like I made a bunch of Hot Pockets one day thinking we could put some in the freezer, but they were really delicious and they worked great for my husband's lunch and they worked great for our lunch leftovers. And so I didn't get around to freezing any of them. We just ate them all and enjoyed them all. So that was still, work for me. That was well spent because I didn't have to cook the rest of that week, but I didn't get them in the freezer. So I don't know how many weeks I was pregnant, but I made a list. I made a big sheet of paper of a list of all of the things I wanted to prepare before this baby came. And so with each shopping trip, I picked a couple of meals that I could prep, grab those ingredients for, because most of the meals I had didn't require a lot of ingredients, but like I had to buy big packs of chicken for a lot of those. So I knew when I was going to Aldi, they had a good price on like the value pack size of chicken. So I would get a couple packs of those, what I thought was manageable that I could put in freezer meals that week, and I would work with that. I also tried to prepare like items. So like the barbecued items, it was easy to prep those all at once, or like the curry and the, I think I'm missing a meal. It just popped into my head. I'm gonna have to go back and look. There should be another curry meal. I might have 20 freezer meals. I'm processing all of this on camera. I had to put some of the freezer meals in my mom's freezer for a while because I didn't have enough space as I was like shuffling things around. So I may have left that one at her house. I'll have to go check. But like I did all the curry meals together sort of thing because they used similar enough ingredients that it was easy to do. So when I wasn't doubling dinner, I would pick an evening and get just like 3 freezer meals done, like 3 of the barbecue ones or something like that. Or the kids were playing contentedly, and so I would just put together, like dump the meatballs and the other ingredients in the bag, throw it in the freezer and call it a day. Or there was one day my mom was over here playing with the kids, and so that's when I put like 3 freezer meals together. So just having all of the ingredients on hand, knowing ahead of time what all I wanted to make. Even like there was one afternoon during my kids' naps, I wrote out all of the freezer bags that I knew the instructions for. So I wrote the name, I wrote the instructions on the freezer bag. So when I had 10 minutes, I could just grab that freezer bag, grab my ingredients, which I knew I had, and then assemble everything and toss it in the freezer. So that worked out really well that I could just get a couple done at a time, but it all worked because I had that master plan in the beginning. Another question. How did I come up with all of these meals? Like, where did I find these recipes? My first thought is always to go online and look at other blogs of other moms who have prepped freezer meals for postpartum. Some of them have really, really convenient lists of like, just buy all these ingredients and it makes all these meals. But my family wouldn't eat all of those meals, and so the whole grocery shopping list wasn't actually helpful. So I looked through all the recipes that they had and picked the ones that I thought my family would like and that I would like, that I thought would be easy to prepare, that had ingredients that I liked or already had on hand. And so I went to blogs, which you'll see. Hopefully I can link all of the recipes in the description. A number of them come from blogs of moms who have done that, which is super helpful. Thank you to those moms. The other ones are YouTube videos that I like to watch. There are a couple, I mean, as you can probably guess, I follow a lot of moms online, and so I can see what other moms have prepared, get ideas from them, get recipes from them, and compile those for my family as well, which is probably what you're doing here. What else? Like I said, I have a slow cooker cookbook, so I flipped through that and saw which meals we would like and which could be easily thrown into a freezer bag. Most of those you just dump all the ingredients in the slow cooker anyway. So as long as it has all like freezer safe or freezer ideal ingredients, like putting potatoes in the freezer doesn't work, but putting, meat and barbecue sauce, super easy. I can do that. So those sorts of things. Some of these are just like my regular recipes that I make all the time, like sloppy joes. What else? Even like the Asian chicken thighs that I mentioned, like the sweet and sour sauce. Usually you compile that on the stove, but really cooking it the way I'm going to cook it is not going to be a big deal. That'll convert just fine. And so I know that about my cooking. A number of the like snacky items that I have, the muffins and stuff, I regularly make and freeze those. Like if I'm ever going to make muffins, I always make a double batch to make at least 24. Because then they just go in the freezer and they're super easy for snacks and stuff for the kids. Because if I can make it from scratch, I do make it from scratch. I like to do that. But that's one of the reasons I'm preparing so much ahead of time, is because I like how I cook. I like how we feed our family. I like the ingredients I use and having home preserved items. But I'm not going to have time or energy to do that when this baby comes. So little baby update I guess I can throw in here is that he's looking good. I'm looking good. I'm, again, 38, 39 weeks pregnant, depending on which person you talk to or which scan you look at, whatever. He's coming soon-ish, and I'm getting signs that he is working his way. So lots of Braxton Hicks, which are a good thing. My uterus is getting ready. What else? I carry my babies really low, so I don't notice any dropping per se, but I can definitely feel him in my hips, and like that pressure, that downward pressure. So he's working his way down. He is head down. My midwife has confirmed that with each visit, which is great. We want to see him in that position. What else? The nesting, lots of nesting. I've been doing lots of cleaning, purging, organizing, freezer meals, preparation. That does make it hard on the mental part of the end of pregnancy though. Like I'm big and I run my belly into stuff, and I have like 2 pairs of pants and 4 shirts that fit. I'm really running low in that department. It's difficult to get up and down off the floor. Like I don't want to share bloopers, but I could share bloopers from these videos of me getting up and down, like adjusting the camera and doing all the things and grunting. It's really, really rough. But when you're at the end of pregnancy and you have like a watermelon strapped to your belly, what you got to do. But anyway, the mental part, the waiting game, is probably the hardest, because I want to have my house cleanish. I want to have the dishes washed. I want to have the laundry done. I want to have these freezer meals done. But he could come anytime. Like, he's full term. He could come today, or he could come in 2 weeks. And so just waiting and waiting is challenging. Or like, I have all these freezer meals prepped, but I still need to be making dinner for my family. Like, that's one thing. My grocery budget went way up the past 2 months, but I know that after the baby comes, I'm not really going to be grocery shopping. Like, we'll get, milk and eggs and fresh fruit and stuff like that. But for the most part, I have a lot of things covered, because I have freezer meals in here, but I also have other stuff. Like, we buy 1/4 of a cow at a time, half a hog. When there's meat on sale at the store, I will grab a bunch of those, like the yellow sticker ones especially. Packs of hot dogs, and I did buy some like freezer burrito things. because those will be quick and easy, like postpartum, again, 2 a.m. and I'm hangry, or like I just need a snack right now. Those are good options too. So I didn't make everything from scratch. Don't let that fool you. But yes, I'm ready for this baby to come, because being big is getting a little old, but also you have to go through labor to have the baby. So that's not the super exciting part, but I know that God will see me through it. I am healthy, he is healthy, and there's nothing more that I can ask for. So I will keep you updated as things go. These are my freezer meals, what I've prepped, what I plan on prepping, what I have available for my family, so my husband can just put something in easily, I can put something in easily, and I can feed my family for the next while. Because like I said, if that extra freezer meal is around here somewhere in my freezer or my mom's, that should be 20 dinners that I have prepared, that I've been working on slowly the past couple of months. So baby number 3, we are ready for you. Thank you all for your excitement and your patience, as I have not been YouTubing. I have been doing all of this stuff. I will see you in my next video, and maybe I'll be holding a baby in my arms. Thanks everybody. See you next time.